You are listening to the Mark Lesko Podcast, a podcast by diehard fans for fans. Mark covers all things Penn State football and the Pittsburgh Steelers, as well as anything related to the sports and fitness world. Tune in weekly to listen to a couple of dedicated fans talk about these topics without filters. Thank you for listening to the Mark Lesko Podcast.
What's up, Yinzers? Welcome to the Mark Lesko Podcast. I am your host, J-Rod, and this is Black and Gold Mondays. You know, Mark mentioned in one of my comments that he loves the quick changing that I did with last week's episode. He's going to really enjoy this one. I figured it out. I love doing costume changes when I was in the theater, so I know how to do this pretty well. So, guys, let's just get started with this. It is going to be the NHL, 26 games to go. Guys, this has certainly been one of the bigger surprises in probably Pittsburgh in that regard. We knew that the NHL or the Penguins was going to have, an interesting transition because, you got legends like Crosby and Malkin and Letang on the back ends of their career, and inserting guys like Ben Kindle and company that we just drafted, and inserting all of the pickups and the trades that we had acquired with everybody else. And again, everyone is a various age. We all have things from, mid-30s to early 30s to mid-20s to early 20s to even teenagers. We have a very big variety of ages on this team. And how it has gone through this season. I mean, if you look at the standings right here, you have in the Atlantic Division, the Tampa Bay Lightning at 78 points, the Canadiens at 72, the Red Wings at 72 as well, the Sabres at 70, and the Bruins at 69. I'm only going to be mentioning the Atlantic Division or the Eastern Conference, and I'm only going to be looking at the top 5 teams from each division, so it won't be too much of an in-depth look. But these 5 teams, the Lightning, the Canadiens, the Red Wings, the Sabres, and the Bruins. I mean, the Sabres, of course, are a big, big surprise. Never did I think that Buffalo would go above next to last place in the division. But we've got a great group of guys. Like these teams, they are the historic teams of the NHL. They have been around for quite some time. But the Lightning are probably the premier team. They have been to like 3 or 4 Stanley Cups in the last 10 years. I think it's been crazy how successful that Tampa Bay, of all places, has seen a lot of success. But, guys, I want to admit something. I got kind of called out during my Olympic episode yesterday that, I don't know that much about hockey. I get that. I understand it. I know enough about knowing where the right wings and the center and the left wings are. I know the defensive players. I know the goalie. Like, I know how the whole thing is planned out. But, again, I've only been watching hockey for 16 years now, and seeing I've seen an amazing group of guys throughout my 16 years following it. So, I think I have enough to know of hockey. I very much appreciate the sport. I love it. I love it a lot. I've always liked it. And so the fact that I get a chance to do it, I very much appreciate Mark giving me the opportunity to Penguin Central, as well as baseball and football. Again, I just love this so much, and we're going to move it on down, guys, with the Metropolitan. That's us. And you have the Hurricanes leading with 78. Very, very strong team. Very good points. A lot of good goals. And us in second. Islanders right behind us, 69 points. The Blue Jackets, 65, and the Capitals at 65. Now, again, we all know the history with the Capitals and us. We butt heads with Alex Ovechkin and company for the last 12 years. They have always been one of the more, prolific teams. They have the names. They've always been competitive. So 65 is a little on the lower side of what we expect from Washington. But again, still a lot of time left. We still have a third of the NHL season to get through. So they've got a chance to climb back up. And the Blue Jackets, they're scrappy. Like, they always try to stay competitive, and they always play us tough, or we always eventually win it out. I'm not saying we own anybody, but between Blue Jackets and Flyers, we've had our we've had their number. So it is a good team, but you never know. Islanders, yeah, they have a very competitive team. Being 32, 21, and 5, only 5 overtime losses. That's pretty impressive. And knowing they are just right behind us, they know how to put themselves in the position to be competitive. So it's going to be an interesting rest of the season. But I want to, let's see here. I want to bring up one other thing here. Just look at the next couple of games, just a couple of days. I'm going to go into an even more in-depth look starting tomorrow when Penguin Central returns from the break. I'll be breaking down this week's games, but I want to, let's see here. I think I already accidentally did something else. Yeah, I wanted to say that. Still trying. There it is. Okay. Still trying to figure out this technology, guys. But no, these just next couple of games is to see where everybody is at and who they're playing. So like we keep up with all the other teams around us, especially in the Metropolitan Division. So when you look at Monday's or Wednesday's schedule, we were officially back Wednesday, the 25th. You have the Capitals taking on the Flyers. And I believe the other game you want to look for is Maple Leafs and Lightning. Oh, that's going to be a good game to come back with. I mean, but Thursday night, guys, my goodness, this is a loaded night. This is unbelievable. Number 1 versus number 1, the Lightning and Hurricanes. Oh, that'll be a fun one to watch. And then you have us and the Devils. You then have the Blue Jackets and Bruins. I mean, they're both around the 4th place area, so it's like they're fighting for that other wild card spot, so that'll be a good matchup. And then you have the Islanders and the Canadiens. That's going to be a very good matchup too. So we got to make sure we win, and we got to make sure we root for the Canadiens. So that's pretty much what it's going to come down to. But yeah, the rest of this season is going to be based upon how healthy Sydney's going to be. And of course, the goaltending, that's another big thing. I think the defense is the other thing that we need to kind of make sure if we button that up, we're going to be pushing for the playoffs. We can make a run. And again, we never know how it works in hockey. It's as simple as making a pass and shooting that puck and it's in the goal. Like it can be that quick. It doesn't matter if you're the best or the worst. Anyone can be shot on and scored on at any given time. So it's a crazy couple of weeks, but yeah, I'm looking forward to the rest of the season. And I do think we have a chance to make a good push. So as long as Sydney stays healthy, he comes back at 100%. I don't know if they're going to try to do week to week, maybe just try to put him back in, gradually. But yeah, it's all going to depend on what the schedule is for the next week. So we got to keep up with it because the Islanders are right behind us. So we got to be sure we're ready. So I'm going to flip over to the baseball season, and all of a sudden, ta-da! Yes, sir. Got to go to the Pirates. Reactions to spring training. Let's see here, guys. Bring this up. So we had 2 games, a split game, won both of them. We are 3-0, my man. Oh, it's awesome to see a good start to the spring training. But hey, it's just, it doesn't mean anything. We just got to hopefully get the guys, taken care of. We got to make sure we look at the right guys. But, when we look at the game against Tampa Bay, we were 7-4 final. You had Johan Ramirez win that game. He didn't do too bad. I mean, he had 1 inning, 1 hit. That was an earned run because that was a home run. Got a strikeout. But, if you look at the scoring, at one point, Delgado hit a single. Malloy grounded into a double play. Malloy then singled to left. So it was 3-0 at one point with who was pitching? Oh, let me see. Where's that pitcher? Mitch. Yeah, Mitch kind of got a little bit hit. Just 1 hit. No, it was the Davinsky. Yeah, again, I love spring training for a reason where it's like I try my darndest to follow up in the minors, and I'm seeing all these names, and I'm like, where are these guys coming from? I didn't even know these players, some of these pitchers were in our minor league system, but I've never heard of Davinsky before, but he got hit pretty nasty. Isaac Matson got through his inning pretty nicely, so that's awesome to see that. But Mason Montgomery, just 0.2 innings, got 2 hits, and got an earned run. I mean, again, you can't really measure a whole lot off of one spring training game, but you never want to see things like that from a guy who's a potential bullpen arm, and he's a good lefty. He's got good stuff, but, keep an eye on that. And again, Yohan Ramirez had the one earned run because he gave up the home run. But then you had the guys at the end of the game, Davis and Sisk. I mean, wow, 3 strikeouts each. That's a pretty nice that's pretty promising, actually. So I'm very happy to see it. But, you look at, again, what had occurred for the rest of the game. Joe Stenson Garcia. I think that's how you say his. I think I finally learned how to say his name. Joe Stenson Garcia hit a single to bring in Gorson. Cook walked, Fletcher walked, so tied the game up. And that was when Ramirez gave up the home run. And Camilo homered, Ross singled, and then you have these, spring training invitees, doing what they did. So, we won the game on the back ends with the guys that, are not going to be up in the majors. But it's nice to know that our minor league system has some guys who can hit. It's very refreshing to see that. And again, the Tampa Bay, they're kind of finally dwindling off the talent. Like, we got Lau from them. I know they got rid of a couple of players in the offseason from their team. Like, they're in a rebuild system situation. So it's not surprising that they took advantage of that. But that was the final from that game. Let's see here. And then let's move on to the Phillies. Pirates taking on the Phillies. And, of course, we had Schwarber hit 438 home run bomb. And not only did the guy not take the offer that Pittsburgh gave him, but of course he had to say that I didn't want to come here and smash the ball completely out of that park. And then Baum hit a sac flying to right to score 2-0. And Valdez, what is his first name? Ismany? Or it's a tough little name. Let me see if I bring his name up here. Don't want to say his name wrong. Ismael Valdez, yeah, I know he hit that grand slam with 361 feet, just getting over the fence, and they homered with the DeMartini. What is it? Braxton Ashcraft. I mean, 4 hits, 1 earned run because of the home run, 2 innings. And it's not the greatest result, but it's the Phillies, and that was a majority of the Phillies starters that he did take on. So it's pretty decent showing from him. And, I look at everybody else, Lasora, Sanders, Dibikowski. I mean, he had 4 strikeouts in 2 innings. That's pretty good. Walsh, Stumbo, and Tompkins. Again, all these names from the minors that I've never heard or have seen. I think I know one name. Like, yeah, it's just seeing the results, unfortunately, from guys like Jake Mangum and still hitless Connor Griffin. I mean, again, you can't base a whole lot off spring training. But knowing that in 2 games, Griffin has been 0 for 5 with 2 strikeouts, I'm not saying the guy is intentionally trying to keep himself in the minors, but I don't know. It's unfortunate because he needs to show. He needs to show up in these games to get up there. I don't know. I feel like we have so much spring training left, but to see it come out like this, it's not a good sign that he's going to make the opening day roster. I'm hoping I'm wrong on that, but you got to try your darndest to give him some time. Hopefully that he figures things out, but it's not a good start to it. But yeah, so seeing the 3-0 start to the season so far with spring training, I like what I'm seeing from a lot of guys. Of course, naturally, Brian Reynolds went 3 for 3. He had a great day at the plate yesterday. I think the names that so far have been intriguing to see have been Andy Rodriguez and Justensen Garcia. Those guys are vying for spots on the bench, be backups. I think that is extremely encouraging to see that. And so far, I think we've only seen a couple errors, just, maybe 1 or 2 at the most. And to see that from spring training, it's nice to see the defense is so far going through the motions. But yeah, like, how much can you measure off of spring training? It's not a whole lot. It's just, again, going through the mechanics, going through the motions. And I can only hope that as the spring training progresses, that we're going to be seeing a lot more just consistent hitting from the guys we need to see it from. So that's that. And again, one more time. Moving on to the next topic, which is the Pittsburgh Steelers. I love that. I love it so much. So, what's there to say about it? The Pittsburgh Steelers are going now into the NFL Combine that starts on the 26th. I know it starts today technically, but I saw the schedule and I saw the first group of guys that they're seeing are the linebackers on the 26th. But let's see here. Bring up the schedule here. Or I want to bring up the list of invitees. So the positions that we have to focus on primarily are quarterback, wide receiver, cornerback, and defensive line. I think those are the four important names to really get right and see if we can acquire through the draft. If we can't pick up in free agency, I think the most important way to do that is to see who's going to be a realistic option for us at the combine and to see what they come into it. So as far as quarterback's concerned, the four names, I'm only looking at four, and we have to bring him into this conversation no matter what. We already know as Penn State fans, we have to bring Drew Aller in for consideration. The other names I think we need to look at are, let's see, Carson Beck of Miami. I know he's a little older, but he has a lot of good numbers. He's been through a lot of big moments, so it's important to look at guys like that. We got to get Fernando Mendoza out of the picture. We all have to be realistic. That's just never an option. Garrett Nussmeier, I think, is LSU. I think that was a big name. And a lot of people have said that's a possibility we can make a project out of. And naturally, we ended with Ty Simpson of Alabama. I know that we are waiting on Aaron Rodgers again to make a decision this offseason. Again, I don't agree with it, but that's their choice, and that's how the Steelers would like to be as an organization. And again, when you look at options like Mason Rudolph and potentially Will Howard getting another chance, I can't see how at least not throwing another name if Aaron Rodgers makes the decision of not coming back, which it seems like he will. I don't see why he wouldn't, but if the possibility, if he doesn't, you look at maybe into seeing Malik Willis of free agency, or you look at these guys in the combine, potentially getting a draft pick, having a bunch of young guys. Either way, like if Aaron doesn't come back, the fact that Mason Rudolph, who's 30 now, and Will Howard, who's like 24, 23 maybe, and another guy like Simpson or Beck or Nussmeier or even Aller, there's still a chance that Drew Aller might just be NFL ready. Maybe he always was potentially the guy to go to the NFL over the NCAA. Who knows? I mean, there are some people that just succeed with better systems, and it just seemed like he never got into a good system at Penn State. So it's possible that he might be ready for the NFL. Who knows? And we're just going to move on, guys, to wide receiver. And I think the name I said that I'm very much intrigued to see is Mekhi Lemon. Is that how you say that? Mekhi Lemon? His name Mekhi from USC. I heard that name floated around a lot. That's the name I'll be looking for with the combine. Who's going to potentially be coming to us? Now, again, they don't have rankings, so I do not know. They just have it in alphabetical. I mean, if I'm looking at it, obviously anyone from the Big Ten or SEC, you want to look at those guys too, like Dylan Bell of Georgia, obviously should be a name. Malik Benson from Oregon. Jeremy Bernard. Is that how you say it? Jermaine Bernard. I don't know. Denzel Boston. I heard that name before from Washington. Zachariah Branch from Georgia. Byron Brown from LSU. I mean, again, I don't know the NCAA as well as Brett or Mark does, so I'm sure they could probably tell you who's more NFL ready than myself. But just hearing these names, I think I saw C.J. Daniels' name of Miami in the semifinals of the national championship. And yeah, there's a lot of names that are floated around wide receiver wise, but Lemon was the name that I heard frequently. That they say if you're going to go for a wide receiver in the draft, that's the one to go for. And we have to trade up potentially for him, but we have the draft capital to do that. So I'm very intrigued to see what a guy like that will bring. And of course, we also have to look into free agency outside of guys like Roman Wilson or Calvin Austin III. Like, that's really what we're going to be looking at to match with, oh God, his name escaped me. Oh my gosh. I see his face, but I cannot remember his dang name. DK Metcalf, my goodness, I love senior moments. DK Metcalf, to compliment him, or potentially just be a WR1 to his WR2. A lot of people are saying about how he was not really that WR1 that we think he is. Like, he's not the spread option. I don't know like how the word that is, but it's like, he doesn't have the same skill set that a WR1 does, but he's fast. Like, that's the thing about DK Metcalf. So potentially we can find the guy that's going to match him or even eclipse him as a WR1 option. That's really what the Steelers need to look at. So let's move on. See, defensive lineman. So again, I know that I see Zane Durant for Penn State. I see Dennis Sutton. I mean, come on. I know that these guys aren't going to be options for us because they're probably going to be gone before this third or fourth round that we're probably going to be picking for that at that point. I mean, let's see here. I'd like to think if you were on any of the championship teams or the semifinals, I mean, again, you don't see any Indiana names. That's fascinating. Huh. National championship team does not have a single lineman unless they're that young or they just weren't that skilled at that particular position. Huh. Well, I mean, again, Ohio State, that's an option too. But again, you're looking at the best options for this position. And it's like, will that be available for the Steelers in the third or fourth round or whatever? That's really where you're going to be picking from because you got to go wide receiver first. That is the truth on that. And potentially you go for backup quarterback in the second or third round. And again, by the time we get to the fourth round, that's what we're going to be looking at, the linebackers and potentially cornerbacks. So linebackers, I mean, anyone to complement Peyton Wilson, potentially replace Patrick Queen. I mean, I saw that what's his faces, Harrison and former Steeler. Oh God, I see his face, but I cannot remember his name. Again, I love my senior moments. They have their podcast together. I saw that they were talking about guys that need to be traded or cut, and they mentioned Patrick Queen being a cut and replaced. So again, we're looking at seeing who can replace him and be a better option on the line. It's I obviously, again, I'm going to go Big Ten or SEC here. So, I mean, you got Bryce, Boetticher from Oregon. Again, I'm terrible at butcher. I'm sorry if I butcher these names. CJ Allen from Georgia. Aiden Fisher of Indiana. I mean, Eric Gentry from USC. I mean, there's so many things that we could need to look at. And I feel like we got to also make sure that we do enough to split the payments on both sides of the ball. I think that's a very important thing, to get as much things right on offense in terms of the payroll as well as defense. We're the highest paid defense in the NFL. Let's try to move that money on that side of it's just the seesaw is that like that. So we got to kind of even it. So whatever that is, we have to try to find our darndest to get the line right and get the, let's see, defensive backs. No, I'm not looking for them. Specialists. Yeah, so I mean, we're definitely looking at getting a lot of pickups in the draft. I know that I think the best way to do things like offensive line, I don't want to go offensive line again because we've done so many options in these last few years for the line. I don't know if we need to do another second, third round pick at the highest for offensive line. But yeah, I understand that's the way to go with it. So I hope that that's what the Steelers are looking at and the combine. Those are the names I'm going to bring up. So I'm going to wrap this up, guys. I hope that you've enjoyed the episode. I enjoyed the uniform changes. I was like, that was pretty awesome. So I appreciate you guys coming on. Please like and subscribe to Mark Lesko Podcast, and I will see you guys for the next one. And until that time, you guys enjoy being black and gold.